Hey everyone, playing my NBN deck. I'm up against a Whizzard. This is not a fantastic matchup for me to say the least because I can no longer play my SanSans and Jackals out on the board. So instead of playing them, which I started with, two of which are in my opening hand, instead I ice up both R&D and HQ. He first sees the SanSan but decides not to trash it. I think that was a very strong sign that he was running Liberator accounts. I should have realized that. And with that, I should have realized that now was the time to get my SanSan onto the board before and place the pressure on him before he starts taking stuff off Liberated. And luckily, he hits my R&D, which is heavily ice. So now there's a very huge deterrence to running. Even if he has a York, I'll still gain 1 credit. I gain lots of credits with my installation, with my events, but at this point I should have installed SanSan in the remote. Force him to make a decision, either play Liberated or trash my SanSan. He won't get the best of both worlds. This is a Whizzard running heavy econ, so yeah, it's not looking good for my fast advanced SanSan strategy. He then parasites one of my pop-up windows away. I'm still quite okay with that. Every time he runs, I'm still gaining credit. So I put a rotor turret on HQ, baiting him into running my HQ so that I can start trashing his programs. But he doesn't have any programs yet. Then with my huge stash of money, I decide to install another program trasher, this time R&D. But my hand is starting to get flooded with lots of assets that I have no way to get out. This rarely ever happens in a proper game. But against Whizzard, it's so hard to play. And of course, he runs HQ, score and doesn't score. He trashes the first of my 3 Jackson Howards. I was beginning to panic. Should I just install all 3 assets at once the next turn and force him to use up all his credits trashing them? I don't think that was a very good move, but I ended up doing it anyway because there was really not much else I can do. I needed the Jackson Howards and the SanSans on the board to start making any work of them. And the worst thing was that I wasn't drawing into my wraparounds. I think that's a problem with my deck. I have way too few wraparounds. Way too few end around eyes. I think it's 3 wraparounds, 2 enigmas, and 2 RSVPs, which is useless. Well, okay, now it's useful. Now I installed the SanSan into the RSVP server, so now there's no way he can trash it. So I can score the builds next turn, and I'm definitely going to, because it will only be who on earth splashes for Cyber Cypher in a Whizzard deck? Oh my gosh. Wow. Just like that, my SanSan is gone. And my RSVP is rendered useless. Ouch, you have no idea how much that hurts. I was debating on whether to put the Jackson in the RSVP server or not. In the end, I decided it made no difference. I kept drawing out with Jackson, and I quickly realized that I was getting agenda flooded to the max. This is looking grim. Yes, I didn't rest the rotor turret there. I think that was a horrible decision. I should have kept him out. The reason why I didn't want to rest the rotor turret is because I knew he definitely had a parasite in hand. And I don't want to spend 4 to pay for a piece of ice that will be parasited away. But in hindsight, I definitely should have done it because Cyber Cypher, if I get rid of the Cyber Cypher, my RSVP is activated once more. So a huge mistake there. And see, I draw into the SanSan, which would be completely safe had I trashed his Cyber Cypher. So I think this is definitely my biggest mistake this game. So I spent Jackson, my final Jackson, I believe, milling all the agendas from my hand except for the breaking news, which I can score from hand. I also mill the close accounts because there's no way I'm going to close his accounts with my SanSans all denied. Again, I didn't trash his Cyber Cypher. Huge mistake as he scores my breaking news. That was supposed to be my score. I'm really at a loss at how to play against Whizzard. It's so annoying when you cannot play your assets on the board because and the runner can trash it for free. And you know the runner is going to run there, so that's the worst part of it all. It's incredibly annoying to play against. I mean, it's very bad enough that I get agenda flooded very often. Now I'm getting agenda flooded and asset flooded. I can't use either. I have to wait for my ice, and I'm not drawing into them. He summons a knight on the board, which by this time I realized that I should be using my roto turret, but it's too late because now it's being knighted. He scores my nope. I scored a breaking news, but there was not much consolation. He continued running my HQ. I'm getting rich, but the money is for no use, and he scores my last breaking news. So he's on 4 points, I'm on 1 point, and in a whole world of trouble. I'm still not getting the ice that I need. This whole time I've been digging for ice, but I can't find it. So instead I power shot him down. He has to choose between the Cypher and the Knight. I expected him to choose the Cypher, but instead he goes with the Knight, which was surprising because because the Knight is more versatile. But I guess it was a better choice because he had Knight in hand, and it immediately went on HQ. So he continues raiding HQ, and of course he pulls out the 1 in 4 Gila hands to put him on 5 points. Yes, it's definitely not looking good for me. My Enigma is still open because his Cyber Cypher is useless. And I decided, after looking at my archives, which contain a bill from my power shutdown mailing, I decided to use interns for a sneaky play, knowing that his Cyber Cypher couldn't get through. Then I quickly realized he had a Knight on the board, so I would lose the agenda by the end of this turn. He made a wrong move. He face checked the ice when by right he should be placing the Knight there, but it made no difference. He summoned a York and scored to win. By then I was very demoralized. I was playing far subpar. But yes, this was a very lots of misplays on my part. I do concede that Whizzard is definitely a weak matchup for my NBN deck, but at the same time I definitely could have played that much better. Instead of waiting for ice, I should have been more aggressive with my assets and been more aggressive with my program fashion. Yes, against Whizzard I cannot afford to wait. He'll just snowball in economy and snowball in card draw, having all the tools that he needs in his hand to deal against me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.